Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. My name is Marty McAlpine. Today is February 9th, and tonight is a meeting of the Chelsea Licensing Commission. I'm joined here this evening by Alexandria Christmas, Mike McAteer, and Emily Cherniak, as well as our city solicitor, Cheryl Watson? Fisher, and our licensing admin, Naomi Lebron. To start things off this evening, I would like to get an adoption of the minutes from the December 8th, 2022 Chelsea Licensing Commission. Can I have a motion? All in favor? Next up this evening, we have a clerk's update and new business.
So first, for the clerk's update, the licensing meeting will be on March 9th next month. It's no longer going to be on March 9th. It's going to be on March 16th next month because we have a conflict of meetings in this particular room. So I just want everyone to know that next month's meeting will be March 16th. And then we need to adopt the change in the calendar for the License Commission meetings with that change.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the change of the licensing calendar for the 2023 year. Can I get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So the next item on the clerk's update is the City Council is considering some changes to the licensing ordinances, Chapter 14. So basically, if you've noticed over the past couple of years, we've been allowing uses of city spaces for events, for sales, for outdoor spaces being used differently in Chelsea, outdoor space owned by the city, meaning streets, sidewalks, the City Hall Plaza, our parks. And we've allowed special events and parades and events. So the Housing and Community Development had a grant that helped us look at all our licensing rules and regulations and the city ordinances, and we're trying to streamline some of the things that the licensing administrator has been doing with your approval. For example, we allow beer gardens, but you guys gave us the rules and regulations, but you don't really have that in our code of ordinances. We do special events permits. There's a difference between just setting up a table and providing pamphlets on health information versus someone streaming a guitar with it plugged in and the neighborhood hears it. So we've tried to narrow that down. One of the councilors is suggesting to remove some of the bond and insurance requirements, which is holding up a lot of the individuals or organizations to be able to insure or to hold these events, because bonds are expensive and so isn't the insurance. So the City Council is reviewing a lot of those changes. I just wanted to give you a heads up because once they do that, we then have to do rules and regulations. But a lot of it, the Licensing Commission and yourself already do. You already issue the beer gardens. If you recall, past 2 summers, Apollonia does it. Chelsea Day does it. So we do a lot of that out here. You do the fairgrounds, those events for longer than 3 or 4 days. You might have to do a little bit more that might have to come before you. The reason I'm bringing this up is because special event season starts in April, along with what's not on here, seasonal outdoor dining, which may not be extended by the governor. So we're starting to reach out to the local restaurants to realize that they need to go through us and the ABCC to be able to serve alcohol on city sidewalks and in the parking lot spots, outdoors. I believe that's all for the clerk's update.
Does anybody have any questions on that before we move on to the next item? The next item on the agenda this evening is to consider an amusement and entertainment license application for a radio for Como en Casa Incorporated, DBA Como en Casa at 107 to 109 Shirtlift Street in Chelsea, Mass. Is there someone here to speak on their behalf this evening? If you could please step up to the microphone. And if you could step right up to the microphone and speak it nice and clear so it's picked up, that would be great.
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good,
Can you
thank
state
you.
your name, please?
Luisa Bedoya.
Wonderful. And tell us about your establishment.
We literally just opened on Tuesday to the public. We had the grand opening on Sunday and Monday for the town. So I hope you guys can come. Some of you were there on Monday. We're here to request the license for the music and the TV so we can show the products that we have on the TV. It's only one TV and a few speakers for, no loud music, but kind of a modern music.
I noticed on the front that it only mentioned a radio. Was it also marked for television on the
No, the
application?
television, I thought it was just for the menu.
For the menu, correct.
Yeah.
To display the menu, yes.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I just want to make sure that if that's what she needs, it
Yes.
was marked correctly for you. Are there any questions from my fellow commissioners?
Could you explain Como de Casa? Is a restaurant, what's your type of business? For the
It's a bakery. It's kind of a Latin American food.
Okay,
There's sandwich, Colombian food like empanadas,
okay.
green juices, orange juice, and there is a little kind of a buffet. We pass all the inspections with the town, and it looks like the community accept the place pretty well.
Okay, very good.
And you said you just opened, correct?
We literally just opened 3 days ago.
Congratulations,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
Thank you so much.
Is there anybody from the public that has anything to say on this matter? I will take that as a no. Anything from the police department?
No, we do not.
Thank you, Captain Betts.
One quick question. What are your hours of operation?
It's, I think it's from 5 a.m. in the morning until 11, but we just open, so we're trying to close a little bit early because it's busy, but no crazy busy until late.
Okay.
But I think it's until 11 p.m.
And you just want to play radio, just music throughout the day?
Just during the day, like calm music because it's too quiet there.
Okay, no problem.
Just a little background.
Yes.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the amusement and entertainment license?
A motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you so
And good
much.
luck.
Thank you.
Next up this evening, we have a discussion on the process for the issuing of marijuana retail licenses. This is on the agenda this evening for a couple of reasons. For those that aren't aware, when it comes to the marijuana licenses in the city, the number of licenses that we have is based upon the number of licenses that we have for liquor in the city. So there's a certain number that has been granted. Originally, when the liquor license were granted, we were granted 3. After the last census, that number expanded, as did the liquor licenses for anybody who's been paying attention for the last year. So there are currently 3 additional licenses that the city has the option of giving out. That being said, we know it's a highly contentious issue. So one of the things that I would like to do tonight, I would like to discuss a couple of points on it, but I think it would also be productive for us as a commission to ask for feedback from the public and ask them to come before us at next month's meeting before any motions are made, just to make sure we've done our due diligence as a commission to hear what's best for our community. We do know that when the request for it to be legal for marijuana sales, it passed in the city of Chelsea, which is why we have licenses here. So it definitely seemed that it's something that our community wants. I think now our job is kind of twofold. Do we feel that it's necessary to grant all of the licenses that are available? And then we also need to look at the criteria for how these licenses are being given out. To my knowledge, in the past, it has been more of a first-come, first-serve, as had been being done with the liquor licenses. I know that we adjusted how the liquor licenses were kind of going last year to try to diversify what was in the community. I don't know that that is necessarily a possible thing when it comes to the marijuana license, because I don't know that there's as much variety that you can possibly have. And I personally don't have a huge opinion either way on the matter, which is why I think it's important to hear from our community, because our job is to represent them and what's best for the city. That being said, I want to make sure that we are fair. As we know, based upon what has been happening before the other boards in the community, there are more groups looking for licenses than there are currently licenses available in the community. So I just want to make sure that we do this responsibly and make sure it's fair for everybody. I don't know what my fellow commissioners might have to say on the subject.
It's a little different than a liquor license, where the liquor license was like an accessory use, so you kind of had to figure out which one benefited the community more
Yeah,
and benefited the restaurant.
right.
This is kind of like, this is the only thing they do, so it's
Right,
not.
that's where I don't think there's necessarily a diversity
And I think-
aspect there.
Every single group spent a lot of money on this.
Yep,
And, it's terrible saying no to any of them.
I agree, but if we only have
I
three
think-
available right
Then
now,
I think it's got to go on my opinion would be a first come, first served basis. If you're ready, there's some people ready now and some people not ready now.
yep,
I guess my only question is, just making sure it's representative of Chelsea, like if it's outside, outside people coming in that don't represent the community. I just wonder if we really think about, like, who's running, who owns a business, and I think we can, and then I guess the question is, if they have other businesses in Massachusetts, like, how are we vetting it in terms of, like, reputation, and how do we just know that it's going to be operated well? I mean, I think those are questions I don't know, but just something I think about, as well as just making sure it's representative of Chelsea.
I think the city council prioritized residents, social equity, and the community that has been most demoralized by the war on drugs, the crimes. And
Yeah.
So I believe that's what the city council prioritized, and in fact, it may be in the city ordinance, and we can share that next time with the council. As for whether or not we can only issue 6, I believe right now the city council ordinance says 6. I'm not quite sure if we updated that with the new census.
okay.
I should probably check that.
And right now, do we have more applicants than licenses?
So, as of today, we have 3 pending applications. The zoning board has approved 4. So that 4th person has been informed, is actually present tonight, and we know that that 4th application is going to be submitted. First come, first serve, as of next month, it may be all 4. That's what we're trying to say to you.
And
So
we have 3
regardless of what you
licenses.
decide on that, you may have all 4 before you next month.
Yeah.
We have never had any, what we've requested is always, let's see your CCC application, get through the zoning. It's a waste of time to come before you if they didn't get the zoning approval.
Yeah.
They've all met with the police department. They've all gone through inspectional services, not the final build-out. So we've always just asked for the CCC application. Naomi now has one for us. I believe you've asked for a copy of the provisional license. If it's been provisionally approved, that helps, from the CCC. And it's up to them to make their presentation to the licensing commission. I believe they've made their presentations to the local zoning, special permit granting authorities, but now it's your turn.
During the application, do you follow the criteria? Like, did you vet that they are a resident and socioeconomics, or does it wait till it comes to the commission to review?
That's for the commission to review.
Okay.
So in this application, you will see ownership, you will see the financing, so they have partners too. So it's not like one Chelsea resident turned around and had $1 million and said, I'm going to open up this business. So that's what it's not that simple when you say, I just want residency, I just want social equity, no matter, you know what I mean? You're going to have to balance and look the percentages are, because it changes, right? And a lot of them are social equity applicants that you're going to have before you, so it's not as easy to say, you're not this, you're not that. So that's why I believe we had informed the chair that maybe there should be some discussion, or at least to let everyone know where we're at when it comes to these applications pending before you.
Now, with the applications that are coming in, since it's highly likely that the 3 that you currently have in hand that didn't make it for tonight's agenda, plus that other one will likely make it for the agenda on the next meeting, are we noting the date that you are receiving a completed application?
Yeah, we stamp it.
Okay.
We timestamp everything that comes into the law licensing department.
Because you could, on one hand, say that they've all been submitted at the same time if they're before us at the same time, but if it comes down to that, and we are only able to grant 3 for now, and there becomes more available later, that 4th person might just have to wait a little bit longer until one comes available. But I would personally want, at that point, if everybody is kind of in a fair space when it comes to their connection to the city of Chelsea, I would want to make sure we are following who got everything done properly first, to try to be fair, since it is all kind of going to hit the commission at the exact same time. I don't want us to end up being in a kind of a sticky spot there as to what goes out. Because obviously, like Mike said, this is a group, in all of the 4 known locations, everybody has put a lot of money and effort into opening all of these establishments. But if we only have so many licenses to give out, I want to make sure that when we do that, we're fair in what we do. I think that's the most important thing for us as a commission, is to stay out of everything else and just be fair and have a procedure that we follow. Any other comments from the commission before I open it up for public? No. Is there anybody here tonight from the public that would like to speak on the matter? I'll take that as a no. And Captain, any discussion on the matter from the police department?
No, we do not have anything. Chief Houghton had talked to somebody before about it. He's more than satisfied with what's going on so far.
I know that last month, when we had one of the current establishments before us, looking at the medical marijuana license, and the chief was here, he mentioned that all 3 of the current establishments, we've had no issues within the community. They're all doing everything exactly how they're supposed to, and everything has been very well received. So it doesn't sound like we've had any issues. So as contentious as a subject as this can be, it seems like everything is going really well. So I think on my thought, it's a matter of, it seems to be bringing in a decent amount of business. It's a new opportunity for folks.
Every single one of them have been very cooperative. Actually, this week, the Harbor Collective was awarded by the CCC their medical marijuana license.
Oh, good.
So they'll be able to have a register for medical marijuana. Everyone has been, especially those who are coming before you, very cooperative with me as to amending the host community agreements because of the change in the law, whereby we can no longer add the added 3% on the local side. We get the taxes from the Commonwealth, but we were also getting an added 3%. Since none of them have been open, they did not have to negotiate with me to get money back or not.
Now,
But so they all cooperated, all 4 actually.
a question that I think is important for the community to know is regarding those taxes, what does the city see in terms of a monetary income from these sorts of establishments?
So we get 3% on their gross sales. And we've had staggered openings of 3 retail operators. So mind you, you take away someone else's money, right? So there's been times when we've collected decent amount of money in a year from 1 or 2 establishments. You also have to remember Harbor Collective is a manufacturer and a grow facility. Cultivation. So they have 3 licenses. Those don't get taxed that way, but we get the property taxes from this particular business on Eastern Ave. We've done well. The city has brought in well over $250,000 on, and I don't know the exact numbers.
Yep, no, I wouldn't ask you to quote that.
From the 3 establishments so far. Not only that, they have hired Chelsea residents, not just in the labor, but in the managerial. So lucky for them, they could probably grab experienced workers at this time for the new establishments, because they have hired quite a bit. Even the counselor who's president, Councilor Robinson, and I toured the grow facility. Every other employee knew Councilor Robinson from the high school or for somewhere. So it was really nice to know that Chelsea residents are working in these establishments and learning a new industry. So that was really nice. And we do require living wage and the hiring of Chelsea staff and our host community agreements, and plus access to the Chelsea Police Department. Yeah.
Yes, Chief.
Commissioner Mike McAteer, Officer McLaughlin, we toured Harbor Collectives. They were 1,000%. We gave us the tour we had to wear because it is the protective gear, so not contaminate anything. They were unbelievable. We had like an hour-long tour, and every phase of the grow, the processing, a lot of Chelsea people in there. They answered every one of our questions from the storefront to the back of the house. I know Officer McLaughlin toured Western Front. I have not yet, but we have had no issues at all. There's no traffic issues at any of them. It's kind of come, go. There's never, the only time I saw a slight line was Christmas Eve at Western Front, and it wasn't anything crazy, but everybody's been super cooperative. Questions. Even on Eastern Ave, the facility, we have, as Captain Betts knows, unwanted marijuana, bales of it, and they were trying to assist us how to get rid of it legally, because we went through the process with them, how to, their process if the marijuana is bad, how they can't just throw it out. It has to be really refined and everything. So I'm also a resident. I don't think there's an issue with any of them, and all the ones that have applied for the license, I did their security plans. Everyone has been chasing me down. It's not like I'm chasing them down, and if there's any changes, they come. I think on a Saturday morning, he chased me down on a Saturday morning. I met him at the station because there was a small revision. So everybody's been so cooperative. I just want to, whoever gets it deserves it. I don't think the police have an issue with any of them. I just wanted to put that on record.
That's great to hear.
The only complaints we get from the current operators are, we close early, that's 9 o'clock. Competition closes later, liquor stores close at 11, and you go to Melrose, and that doesn't close till midnight. A lot of them have, some have one-day or entertainment licenses, because you can be in line for a little while. They, for example, Western Front will have an art show with music. The Collaborative on 80, Harbor Collective, will have a food truck. They're big on food trucks. Rise over on Beecham has a piano in there. So it's interesting, the different things that they do entertainment-wise. I do recommend for those of you applying, if you want entertainment, it's always good to have your entertainment license ready for, it's always something you think about, but so the different changes and ideas, I just want everyone to know that we are considering, hopefully, my assistant and I met with the commission to probably participate in the pilot program for on-site consumption. So we're trying to make sure Chelsea's on top of things like that, in the forefront of stuff like that.
Personally, I think it's wonderful to hear that all of the establishments in the community are doing what they're supposed to do, that all of the people who are currently applying are doing everything by the book, and hopefully we're going to continue to grow this industry and just add another level to Chelsea and what it offers. I, for one, have loved to see the changes that I've seen here in the community over the last 10 years, and to have us kind of be at the forefront. When you look at a lot of the local communities, they don't have the cannabis licenses. So if we are doing them and doing them well, I think that's kind of a shining example of Chelsea. Anything else from the commission tonight? So again, I would just like to repeat that if there's anybody from the community that has anything that they would like to address on the matter with the commission, to please either attend next month's meeting, which is going to be on March 16th at 6 p.m., or submit a letter in writing, either via mail or email to Naomi. And Naomi, your email?
nlebron@chelseama.gov.
So that's NLIBRAN at
Chelsea.
chelseama.gov. So we would love the feedback if there is any, and if not, that's fine too. I expect that we will probably have all of the applicants before us next month. I look forward to hearing all of the plans that everybody has. From what I've been hearing through the grapevine, through zoning and everything else, it sounds like there's some great projects that people have in mind. I think that's going to be it for this evening. Commissioners, do we have anything else? No? You're good? Okay, so just to confirm, our next meeting is going to be on Thursday, March 16th at 6 p.m. Meeting adjourned.